be seated. At this point, we'll call on Chief Abiodun Odusanwo, the National President and Chairman Governing Council, Institute for Tourism Professionals, for his opening remarks.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. May I, on behalf of the local organizing committee, on behalf of the council and members of the Institute for Tourism Professionals, as well as on behalf of different agencies, parastatals that make up the main organizing committee, may I welcome you to the maiden edition of the National Tourism Transport Summit and Expo. A lot of time has been spent already. We've had the genesis of how today come to being. The idea of today is to bridge the connectivity between tourism and transport. The case as it is now is those of us in tourism, we are operating in silos, thinking that we are in the tourism sector, which includes all the tourism value chain, like the hotels, the tour operators, attractions management, those organizing travel, and also those who are in the transportation sector, land, sea, and so on. They see themselves as being in the transportation sector. Whereas there's this need for connectivity because tourism is about mobility. Without mobility, travelers cannot get to their destination. Without tourism flow for different destinations, those in the transport sector hasn't got enough passengers to ferry. It is on this premise that we thought we should now bring together those from the two sectors, from the private and the public sector, to come together and dialogue and look into how synergies can be built, and also bring about, at the end of today and subsequent discussion, the platform through which further discussions could now be held, the platform through which further deliberation, policy reviews, and so on can be attained. Ladies and gentlemen, mine is just to welcome you all. I welcome you all and thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for that brief speech. I want to also recognize the presence of Mr. Lawal Shettima Ali, Commissioner for Works, Transport and Energy, Yobe State, representing the Executive Governor of Yobe State, Alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Gaidam. Also recognizing Mr. Dennis Zulu of the International Labour Organization. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Welcome, sir. We're still waiting for the Deputy Corps Marshal, representing the Corps Marshal of the Federal Safety Corps, and the DG Naihoto to join our guests on the high table so we can commence that session. I hear they're outside. They're trying to call them in now. May I humbly request Mr. Lawal Shettima Ali, Commissioner for Work, Transport and Energy of Yobe State, to please join us at the high table. Thank you. Okay, welcome, ma'am. That's Mrs. Sheila Balogun, Director. Mrs. Chika Balogun, Director General, Naihoto.
Please, do we have the representative of NIMASA? Please, join the high table, please, sir. Please, Mr. Dennis Zulu, Country Director, ILO, to please come to the high table. Invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I have the singular honor and privilege to invite the Honorable Minister, Federal Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, who is here being ably represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, to give us the keynote address.
Before I read the minister's keynote address, I want all of us to give ourselves a round of applause for being alive today and being here, because I noticed that since the recognition has been going on, it's like our hands are heavy. So can we give ourselves a round of applause? I'm here this morning to read the keynote address by the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, who is not here physically, but I bet you he's here spiritually. He's on assignment outside Abuja representing Mr. President to commission some projects. So he's asked me to wear his shoes for a few minutes. So, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, I read the minister's keynote address. I'm highly delighted to be present here today at the auspicious occasion of the 2018 Annual Transportation and Tourism Industries Combined Summit and Exposition with the theme Tourism and Transportation, Key Sectors for Economic Diversification, Sustainable Growth and Development. The summit is aimed at brainstorming on the fundamental issues in our nation with regards to transportation and tourism. The importance of transportation to effective administration and management of goods and services, as well as tourism, cannot be overemphasized. Today's event will no doubt proffer excellent solutions that will promote both sectors and also enhance strategic energy between tourism and transportation for national growth and development. Tourism is all about transportation, hospitality, movement of people, and air and land travel are the two dominant modes of tourism travel in the 21st century. The development of basic transportation infrastructure and the use of new technologies in these sectors will speed up the development of tourism in Nigeria, as tourism grows more when there are better transportation systems. Transportation needs for tourism promotion and development, among others, could best be seen in the maintenance of the existing roads, construction of more roads, rail tracks, sea and air transportation, as well as the construction of more local airports to enhance local flights operations for the growth of domestic tourism. It is gladding to note that the present administration, under the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, ERGP, is investing massively in the sector to strengthen Nigeria's transportation infrastructure, to enable it contribute significantly towards building a competitive economy. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is therefore pertinent to note that there is an urgent need for partnership between the public and private sector to ensure that the needs of tourists are well understood and articulated in order to promote both sectors, empower our people, upscale the internally generated revenue, ERG. This will also support the economic diversification policy of the present administration. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to commend the organizers of these events and call on all stakeholders, well-meaning Nigerians, corporate organizations, and foreign investors to support these initiatives and assist in the development of these critical sectors of our economy for job and wealth creation, social economic empowerment, and infrastructural development of our dear nation. I wish you all a very successful summit, and I thank you for your kind attention. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless us all.
Need I say anything again? The PAMSEC, on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Information, Culture and Tourism, has said it all. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think she deserves a very, very big round of applause, please, once again. Thank you, Ma. We're very grateful and appreciate your presentation. Distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, while the speech of the Honorable Minister was ongoing, the Deputy Corps Marshal walked in. Please, a round of applause for him, please. We also have here Dr. G.N. Okeodo, Head of Department of Transport Management and Technology, Federal University of Technology, Owerri. Please, if she's here, let's see her. Okay, she's presenting the paper. Permit me to also recognize Engineer Abdullahi Babanya Baba, GM, Engineering, AIB. Please, is he here? Okay, you're welcome. Thanks so much. We'd like to take a brief and break a bit of protocol to ensure the continuation of this program. If we have representatives from some of the agencies and parastatals who have goodwill messages for us, please, you're welcome to come up here and give us a brief of your goodwill message for the successful hosting of this program. Any agency, any ministry, any organization, please. Okay. So as he comes, please give him a round of applause. He will introduce himself and present the goodwill message. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. I'm standing in for the Director General of Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Dr. Dakuku Peter Said. He actually sends his apologies for not being able to be part of this median occasion, but still feels that before the end of the whole exercise, he must still find time to join us in one of the sessions. Well, he sent his goodwill message by saying that it's an honor and great pleasure to present this goodwill message at this year's Transport and Tourism Summit. I thank the organizers of this summit for their thoughtfulness in fostering their interagency collaboration. This summit could not have come at a better time than now, when the government is desirous of working towards diversifying the economy. The Nigerian economy has for a long time been highly dependent on crude oil. The over-dependence on a single commodity for the survival of an entire nation portends a grave economic danger, and not only because of the volatility of the commodity's price, but a more present danger of diminishing demand as a result of the discovery of alternative energy sources by the world's major users. It is now more imperative than ever that we focus on finding other sources of income before the doomsday arrives. There are no better areas to focus on now than transport and tourism industry because of our natural endowments in these sectors. It is therefore very heartwarming that these two industries are coming together for an effective collaboration and synergy to achieve the desired economic diversification and prosperity for the country. Statistics have shown that the travel and tourism industry is one of the world's largest industries with a global economic contribution, direct, indirect, and induced, for over $0.6 trillion in 2016 alone. Other countries of the world with similar economic situations like ours have keyed into these sectors and are already achieving great feats. A very good example is the United Arab Emirates that have used transport and tourism to diversify their economy. In 2016, tourists spent over $31 billion in Dubai alone, which is the highest amount spent by tourists in a single city anywhere in the world. Emirates Airline carried a total of about 51.9 million passengers with revenue in excess of $23.2 billion in 2016 and 2017 fiscal year. There is no way that the correlation between Emirates Airlines and the boom in Dubai tourist industry is not apparent. Today, UAE is earning more foreign exchange from tourism than from the oil and gas industry. It is possible for the same feat to be achieved in Nigeria. The maritime industry also presents a great opportunity for any economic rebirth if the potentials of the blue economy is properly unleashed. The blue economy, which is the effective and integrated use of the country's seas and oceans to achieve economic development, confers unimaginable advantages to Nigeria, whose coastline spans over 850 kilometers. These advantages can be categorized into 5, namely mineral resources, food, energy, sea transport, and tourism. Out of these 5, water transport and tourism are the least tapped in Nigeria, though they present better outlook in economic diversification. Maritime transport worldwide has been and still remains a very important catalyst in economic development of coastal states while supporting the development and growth of tourism. Cruise ships are major suppliers of tourists all over the world, and Nigeria cannot be different if we do the right thing. In addition, tourism industry in Nigeria can benefit from the international cargo vessels that call in our ports. Over 5,000 ocean-going vessels call at Nigerian ports annually. Each of these vessels comes with about an average of 15 crew members who are potential tourists. Most of these seafarers disembark from their vessels and unwind to have from their sea journey visit good restaurants and hotels and other interesting tourist attractions within the town. If one multiplies 15 crew members by 5,000 ship calls, one could see the number of tourists international vessels could yield annually. Another area of importance of the maritime industry to the development of tourism in Nigeria is maritime infrastructure development. Maritime infrastructure facilities such as seaports and port facilities could provide tourist attractions if built with special architectural designs. Maritime infrastructures are the main basis for effective functioning of intermodal transport chain. The tourism industry can also leverage on the legal frameworks in the maritime industry for development. Legal frameworks such as international and regional conventions, laws and legislations that govern sea transport could facilitate and strengthen cruise shipping. The opportunities provided by the coastal lines of Nigeria for tourism are unimaginable. Nigeria, with over 800 kilometers of coastline, is a potential gold mine for tourism industry if properly harnessed. Today, cruise ships are a major integral part of tourism industry. In 2016 alone, the cruise liners or leisure vessels made a combined income of over $35 million with total passenger traffic of over 24.7 million people. Nigeria is still completely left out of this business, not because we do not have the good beaches, beautiful islands, or wonderful tourist attractions in Nigeria, but there seems not to be a synergy between the maritime industry and the tourism industry to tap into these areas of business. While the tourism industry can leverage on the terminals and coastal channels to attract cruise vessels, the maritime industry will equally make money for terminal charges, agency fees, tonnages, capacity development in the areas of maritime business. Special purpose-built ferries for sightseeing and other business areas that could generate income for the tourist industry. All these opportunities